It may be getting cool outside, but it's red hot on the field. So there's no better time than now to announce that today we've partnered with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL. And thanks to DraftKings, we're bringing you even closer to the action. Right now, new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. You heard that right, instantly. But that's not all. If you're already a DraftKings customer, you get a no-sweat same-game parlay. Get a bonus bet back if your same-game parlay / same-game parlay X doesn't hit. Max reward limits do apply. And if you're a multi-sport bettor, no worries. DraftKings allows you to combine multiple bets for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use our promo code ALLSteelers and bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSteelers, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You think there's any opportunity for Mason to, at all, surpass Mitch Trubisky? And if it's not this week, which I don't think it is, like I don't think you go into Thursday even thinking about Mason Rudolph being your quarterback, what does it take to open that competition moving forward?
I think as soon as the turnovers start coming for Mitch, I think that's because that's when you're actively hurting the team. I think even as a quarterback, you can be unhelpful. You can not move the offense along. You cannot move the team forward, but you can do that while not being an active detriment to the team. That stops when you start turning the ball over, which Mitch has had a chance to, or has had an affinity to do sometimes when he stepped in is turn the ball over. So I think once you start giving it away, I think that's when they maybe they start thinking about giving you the hook. Because look, like the same logic kind of follows. I think, Kenny's the starter for a reason. Mitch was the backup for a reason. Mason's the third stringer for a reason. But at a certain point, if Mitch is actively hurting you, I think that's the only kind of you're not going to bench Mitch for Mason because you're not, getting enough explosive plays or something like that. Yeah. You're only going to bench him, I think, if the play dips to a point where even the defense can't be reasonably expected to, even a good defense can't be reasonably expected to cover for it. I think that's where you end up drawing the line.
I think that's a possibility too.
Right.
I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers are gung-ho on Mitch Trubisky right now. I think if this happened earlier in the season, this is Mitch's job. It's going to stick with Mitch's job. They're going to keep this. They are going to try as hard as they can to make it work. I think where they are right now, you're too close to the postseason. You're walking such a fine line right now where you can't make a mistake. You can't stick to your guns or let things develop. You are literally just, hey, whatever works best. Who cares who's out there? You don't have any emotional connection to either of these guys heading into these last 5-6 games. You just have to look at both of them and just say, whoever's the best quarterback, whoever's not going to lose us games, that's who we're putting out on the field. And I agree. I think if Mitch starts throwing interceptions, if Mitch turns the ball over, which could very well happen, I think Mason gets in there, and I don't think the Steelers even hesitate to make that move just because this isn't Kenny. If Kenny started throwing interceptions, okay, now you're worried a little bit. Now you don't know what's going to go on. This is Mitch and Mason. These are backups. There's no loyalty there when it comes to trying to lose a starting job. You were handed the starting job because somebody got hurt. You got to keep it. If you can't keep it, Mason goes in. You think that could happen on Thursday? You think that an in-game switch can happen if things get bad enough? And I don't want to put that into the universe, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair question. I mean, just this is an organization that I think, as I've come to know them, tends to kind of stick to their guns, like you said, be a little bit stubborn and kind of always kind of believe in the moves that they made. So I think it's a perfectly reasonable question. I think it is possible at this point. Like you said, I think at different points in his time in Pittsburgh, the Steelers would be really not really eager to back Mitch, keep him cemented as the starter.
Yeah.
Not really try to undermine him at all. And I don't know if this is one of those times. I think they have, lost a little bit of their, not love for Mitch, but just, the mystique is not there anymore. The
Yes.
idea that you could maybe revive his career, I don't think it's really there anymore. So I think they will definitely have a quicker hook for him than they did, when he first started, when he first got here and was named the starter.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different situation now than what he walked into.
Yeah, I could see it happening too. I just don't see. I see Mitch's leash being very short just because the Steelers are not going to mess around. They're just going to look at this and say, we got to survive the next 4 weeks of the season. That's all we got to get through. And then hopefully we lock in a playoff spot and just keep it moving from there. But man, this is a wild Pittsburgh Steelers season. Let's just chalk it up to that. A very wild Pittsburgh Steelers season with some promise has now completely come back to be really anything could happen. Things could get real bad real fast.